How to shed light on the emissions testing scandal? Who is to blame? And did the Commission turn a blind eye on the issue? After a lot of pressure from the Parliament, former Commissioner for Enterprise and Industry, Commissioner Verheugen, finally appeared before Parliament's Inquiry Committee. We asked Latvian MEP Krisjanis Karins and the President of the committee, Belgian MEP Kathleen Van Brempt, what they thought of his intervention and how much the Commission actually knew.
We know there was a rising set of evidence with regard to the fact that there's a huge gap between emissions in the laboratory and emissions on the road. It's not only the GRC, but also a lot of other scientific organizations came up with a lot of proof.
Verheugen confirmed that the Commission was fully aware prior to 2007 that there was a big discrepancy between road emissions and laboratory emissions, the way automobiles are tested. Further, he confirmed that the environmental policy to reduce CO2 took precedent over any other concern over NOx. And NOx, as you know, are toxic pollutants for people. So we breathe them in and we get ill. CO2 is bad for climate change, of course. He confirmed that there is this trade-off. It was understood, but the overriding concern was reduce CO2 and not to reduce the NOx as well.
Was the Commission also aware of defeat devices that manipulated emission testing results?
Regarding defeat devices, he seems to have been saying also in one of his last statements that this was not something that anyone had informed him, that was talked about. It was not discussed because it was not even understood to be technically a possibility.
What is frustrating, I think, for us is that there is no real act from the Commission saying we made some mistakes. They have difficulties in saying that. I think they didn't act as they should have acted. Having said that, it's a responsibility not just of one Commissioner, it's even not just only the responsibility of the Commission, also the European Parliament. Nobody discussed defeat devices at that moment.
What do you think of Verheugen's statement that he was a commissioner for the people, not a commissioner for industry?
I think that was a good statement. I think all the commissioners should be having the general interests of the people of Europe in mind. He was responsible for the area of industry, he was responsible for the competitiveness, for jobs, but with the goal of prosperity for the European citizens.
I find that highly interesting and rather difficult to believe because it seems that every commissioner, not only him, but all others, they certainly feel, and in their actions they feel that they are furthering the interests of a certain segment of society, whether they're responsible for health, whether they're responsible for social issues or for the industry or for the economy, just as government ministers feel responsible for the area they're given. I find that hard to believe that he actually did not feel as a commissioner for industry.
What do you think of Mr. Verheugen being offered a job in the industry after his mandate?
In my view, it seems highly likely that the job he was offered in the automotive industry after the end of his tenure may have something to do with the auto industry saying a certain thank you for his work regarding it in a positive light. Whether this was actually the case or not the case, I certainly cannot know for certain, but there seems to be a certain causality when we see politicians finishing a job with one responsibility and then going in to a very closely affiliated industry. It certainly raises questions.
You should sort of get rid of your responsibilities and not even get the suspicion that there is a connection between your job in the Commission and the job you're offered afterwards. But that's not just an issue with Verheugen, it's a general issue with a lot of commissioners, unfortunately.